You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 65 for February 2020. Welcome to the Polymaticast. Hey, John, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. I don't know.
Really?
It's probably been a month since we've talked in this format.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think things are all right. They're all right. Not as tortured as it was in December.
Yeah.
So that's a positive, jump forward. I don't know. This week, I think Thursday night was really productive for me. I took the day off. I did a bunch of stuff. And then all the podcast stuff I had to do, mine is this one, and obviously OG, got all sorted out.
Okay.
And a whole bunch of other stuff. So I was like, ooh.
Get more stuff to do. Yay.
Weird. I had a productive day. So
what is this thing you call free time?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And what I do, I burn it Minecrafting or playing Bloons TD6. So
Not good, man. Not good. Wasting time on Minecraft. Says the guy who got him hooked on Minecraft.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, it's been very busy, worrying about a certain virus that's coming over, all sorts of other crap, and getting some new hardware. I've been waiting to buy a new tablet for a while now, and I finally got so fed up with the Cintiq I had that I decided to buy the Cintiq 16 instead of the 32-inch one. Now, with that came some trouble. I decided to buy the 16, not the 16 Pro. But the 16 doesn't come with like its own express key remote thingy because they moved all the buttons off the tablet, so they put them on like a separate device. And it doesn't come with a stand, so you have to buy a stand for it. So, and then it comes with a matte glass screen, which is horrible for colors. So if you want anything accurate, you need to put like a separate screen protector on it that makes it glossy. I was gonna spend like $500 something on the tablet, right? That was what I wanted to spend on this for now. I'll sell the old one, and eventually in May I'll buy the 32-inch one. But having had this one for now, I realized that maybe the 32-inch one is too big because it probably won't fit on my desk that I have for artwork, and it probably won't. Probably be a little bit too big.
So the version that you bought and the Pro version, I mean, what's the primary difference? Is it all the stuff that you just mentioned?
The Pro version has a higher resolution screen, so that's there. But it also means you need to have a better PC to drive it, right?
Got it. Okay.
But I've got that on a different desk. It's for my games, right? So I might want to swap those over.
Way back when we were doing when I was doing a lot of editing, I was part of editing communities, and specifically the A&V community. There were a lot of people. This presumption was, get yourself a graphics card. That will fix everything. That's all where your editing is. You just need a graphics card and a crappy PC, and that will make your editing wonderful. And that was just not true. That was unrealistic and not wise of people to do that, but they did it anyways. And now, that misunderstanding was something that a lot of the companies who make video editing stuff has said, it's a good idea, we should do that. And then now it's all the rage. So
video cards do accelerate stuff. If you're doing video editing, right?
So the point is, if you build yourself a good gaming machine, and RGB does not have to be included in that subject.
I built a gaming PC for a colleague / friend last week.
Yeah. And
so that was fun. Spent a lot of time on that.
And does it have RGB lighting?
Oh, it does have RGB lighting though.
The tacky is almost required.
You cannot get away from RGB lighting anymore.
Yeah.
There's not much that comes with. Of course,
Right.
there's going to be stuff out there that has no RGB lighting, right?
Sure, they're called servers.
Well, server hardware will do that for you if
Well,
you
they
want.
don't have RGB lighting, but they have lots of LEDs on them. Lots of
Anyway,
indicators that they're still alive, heart beating. So,
so I bought a Cintiq 16.
yeah.
It it is wonderful so far. I think I might buy like the 22. Maybe go for the Pro version of that, but not go for the 32 Pro. Well, there's only the Pro version. But again, those do not come with stands. So having to buy, I bought the Cintiq 16 for I think 500 something. Then I had to buy a stand, which was another $100. Then I have to buy the Express Key remote, which is another $100. I have to buy the glass
accessories.
screen protector, which is another like $20. Yeah, so it's like 700 something.
Hey, look, at least your stand isn't made out of a billet of aluminum and costs $1,000 and has $400 wheels on it.
You know what? If I could have built it out of aluminum,
Yeah.
I could build my own stand. Yes.
Yeah. Still would have been cheaper. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's a good purchase, I think.
How is I'm terrible at selling things, so and I usually use things well beyond their value to sell them. So I mean, how does that process usually work out for you?
Depends. Some people are like whiny, annoying people, and they want to buy it for like half the price you put it up for.
Sure, right, yeah.
I'm not even going there. I'm not even talking to you. I'm just gonna hang up.
Right, got ya.
And there's like one guy that called me. I'm selling it for like 400 something, and he wants to buy. Yeah, I'll buy it for 300. I'm like, yeah, no haggling, no nothing. Put that in the ad. There's no haggling. I don't want to sell it for less than 400.
So they call you up anyways.
Then they call me up anyway.
Yeah, it is. Here we have Craigslist. I never use Craigslist. I've rarely ever looked at it, and I certainly know, at least out here, like my stepbrother's gotten furniture through Craigslist. But
That's a dangerous proposition.
yeah, I don't know. For me, Craigslist is not the first start or the last place I think of to buy or sell anything. But that's me. I just don't know.
Comes with free bed bugs.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. So for me, my brain doesn't go there to sell things on Craigslist. I just don't do that at all.
Yeah, think about it like eBay, right? That's what we do here. It's a similar site to that, and it's called Marketplace, basically, but in Dutch. And you can just buy your hamsters or your whatever on there. It's just secondhand stuff usually.
Yeah, cool. I don't know. I just don't know what that process looks like. As I stare at a pile of crap down here in the studio.
I recently sold a printer. Somebody bought. I had an A3 printer that I sold because I wasn't using it at all.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I might as well just find a better home for it than me. And that went pretty well. I got him to come to the office and just sold it at the office because it's a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
And people coming into your home is kind of annoying.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Understand that. Yep, I understand that.
But I've sold like I had an entire box full of Magic the Gathering cards that I sold for a couple $100. It was good. It's like just selling your old stuff. I'm gonna do that with the sound equipment as soon as I buy the L12, if they ever have it in stock again.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that's such a complicated thing for you.
I cannot get it. It's just unavailable.
Can
it doesn't
you not?
exist.
Could you go to a music store in like Germany somewhere?
I don't want to drive to Germany.
Okay, well, I mean, what is that? What's the travel for that for you? 2 hours? I don't know. I have
longer
no
than
idea.
2 hours.
Okay.
I'm on the west side of the Netherlands, so I'm basically close to the ocean.
Got ya. Okay, so yeah, a distance. Could you get one of those? Could you find a music store that you could call up and get them to deliver it, ship it to you from there.
Yeah, but what I want to do is I want to buy it from a certain store that I know that if something is wrong with it, I can just ship it back to them and get my money back.
Got ya. Okay.
That's what we have. Cool Blue, we have Bucks, BAX
Mm-hmm.
music, and all of them don't have it in stock anymore. I think they have. Cool Blue has the L20, I think.
How far is Amsterdam from you?
It's about an hour
Okay.
ish, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool Blue doesn't even have it anymore. Anyway,
I'll tell you though, I'm very impressed with the L20. The only kind of little side things that irritate me is that it's at least for me, the connection to it and to Windows with over ASIO doesn't seem to work for me. It doesn't even seem to work as like a standard old USB, input output device.
did you flip the switch on it on the back?
I have, yeah, in the past. But I also don't spend a tremendous amount of time down here. So my plan was when I redo sort of the upstairs office, I'd buy something like the L12 as my interface and a board, and I would do, some recording up there and then studio recording in the studio and, just handle it that way. However, I think there is a value out of me turning on the board, warming it up, being in the space, making sure something's not on fire, even though everything is sort of underneath these, acoustic blankets and stuff like that while I'm not here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think there's some value in doing that. Maybe one day I'll have a place where the studio's in a more temperate, controlled environment. So, I'm not putting the hard runner scenario where it could totally just die by sitting around, not being used all the, frequently.
When the gremlins strike again.
Yeah, they happen. But, look, they knew that I needed to make this upgrade. I knew I needed to make this upgrade.
Maybe they're just helping you. You didn't know.
No, I don't think so. They were really killing me at work. Seriously, for 3 days at work, they were killing me while I was under the stress load of having to get something delivered on Friday. Yeah, so as long as I don't come here, I'm good. I'm very good. Yeah.
So, have you been watching that show called Picard?
I have.
I have as well.
Yeah, and
well, let me ask you one thing before you get started. Do you think it's a kind of a slow burn? Is it kind of slow for you? Because it for me, Star Trek has always been like this serialized thing where they do a new thing every episode. But for Picard, it's like it's one story. It takes a very long time to progress from A to B. It don't just go out and go into space.
Okay,
it's
so
very
before
local.
you go off on the whole long tangent, what is the Star Trek that you're comparing in your head that is sort of your go-to Star Trek? Because there's a lot of them.
For me, it's been TNG that has been the thing that I watched when I was a kid, right? So I've got Voyager, I've got Deep Space Nine, I've got even Discovery, and I haven't actually fully watched the original series, but even for Discovery, there usually was there was a big narrative. Same for Deep Space Nine, there was a big narrative for Voyager, and they took it over a period of time. But for this, there's only one. There seems to be only one story, only one goal for this whole series.
Okay, so based on...
And in the first 3 episodes, it's not like we got a lot done.
Yeah, so based on that, I could agree to your statement that you're intimating that it's a slow burn. In comparison to something like Discovery, in comparison to the normal standard formulaic sort of burn, absolutely, it is a slow burn in comparison to that.
Because in Discovery, it was like, oh, we had the Klingon thing that started, and we got she gets put on the ship, and then
Right.
there was some serialization happening, but it was still like a story arc. But this stuff was happening. People were moving. People were... Right, for this, it's Picard and his vineyard.
So I don't know what they're doing with what they're going to show this year for Discovery, right? It comes out in later this year. I don't even know later this month. That's why I was hesitating. So with that being said, they might slow burn us on Discovery as well. That might be the new format that they want. They want to slow down the intensity so they can milk more of the story out of it. I don't really
Uh,
know. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the thinking is. But yeah, in comparison, they are taking a long while to set up these. I mean, this is basically episode 3 is what I watched this week.
mm-hmm.
So it's a question of they've now set up their premise. They've set up the world in which the future is riding at within regard to this premise. And now it's go time, episode 4 and on, because and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's that's the expectation is it's going to be we're really going to get into it now. And so I don't know if it stays slow burn. It's probably going to
Well,
slowly increase in inertia.
I'd be very upset if they do oh yeah, we're now in space and it's going to take us a couple months to get
I'm
there.
waiting for
But,
7 of 9 to show up.
well, we haven't seen. Have we seen Riker yet?
We haven't seen Riker yet. We haven't seen 7 of 9 show up. We only saw Data. That's it.
Well,
And he's right there in the first few minutes.
memory data.
Right. So that's it. We aren't really seeing anyone that we recognize yet. And we are going to get a Riker. Though I'm sure Jonathan Frakes, which I haven't really been paying any attention, I'm sure he's helping direct or produce this thing. And yeah, we're gonna get as I said, 7 and 9. She was in the teaser trailers, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna come along.
Well, there's going to be a season 2, so that's good.
So
I do like the whole setup that they've done with like the in case you haven't heard yet, we're doing sort of spoiler stuff, but they have the whole thing with the Federation not being the Federation or whatever that they're doing. It's like
not being so goody two shoes.
Yeah, some people in there have ulterior motives, but like really big ones,
Right.
apparently, and people that don't know about certain things.
Right.
I think that is like there were points where I was thinking like, is everybody a Romulan? It's like, is everybody a Romulan hidden like person?
Well, I mean, they've done that before with what was Odo's species.
Yeah, the shapeshifters, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they've done this concept before. This isn't new.
Yeah, but it's like there's the Vulcan. People think that she might be a Romulan too, and then there's the sister of the guy that's on the bar cube, and then there's like all the people that keep invading people's houses.
Right. The
people with helmets on.
yeah. So
that
here's
felt
the
very
thing.
Doctor Who to me. It's like
They
we have
are-
to have them hidden, so
they're-
let's put a biker helmet on them.
This wouldn't be your starting Star Trek series. This is something that's taking a deeper look into the universe you roughly already know and that you believe that you know a lot about.
Yeah.
And they're making it a little deeper and a little bit more hidden. And that is sort of what you're getting in 3 episodes. Now, I've watched them like after work, on a Friday or Saturday, late night, whatever it is, when I finally had a moment before I go to bed. What I haven't done is like watch all 3 of those together and see if there's maybe some cohesion that I'm not feeling yet. Really, you're only getting my sort of first impression, and it's only like 3 weeks old.
Yeah. What do you think about the release schedule that they're doing it every week?
I don't mind that. I'm okay with not. The problem with the good thing and the bad thing with bingeable things is, I hold off watching stuff. I know some people love to marathon. They're addicted to the binge. I am not. I will chill on something until I get around to it. And then when I finally have that moment, I will say, I'll watch a couple hours. And then a couple hours turns into I was up too late. And then what ends up happening is I enjoy it thoroughly and I am satisfied. Within a few days, I watch everything and then I'm good. and then I forget completely about everything until the next season, until they recap us. And then I go through this watching an episode or two and rediscovering what I remember that I binged.
Hmm.
So in the case of something like this, is you're going to retain it a lot longer because you're going to ruminate on it if you're thinking about it across the week comparatively than you would be if you are watching all 3 episodes in 3 hours, or in this case 90 minutes, right? They're not that long.
Well, and they're trying to smear out the area of like when they can get people's subscriptions, right?
I guess so, yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
yes, okay, so that's a tactic. But, TV used to operate like this. They used to
Mm-hmm.
have a schedule. You get a show once a week, and then they screw around with you around summertime because they want, ratings and whatever business. And then they milk that for what it's worth. And it's gotten only worse over the last 15 years because they have tactics for that. And we're all conditioned to it. And then, that's why people are like, Netflix are like, yeah, we're just going to give you everything. We already paid for it. So we want your attention. So why don't we just get an intense amount of your attention for like the next, 2 weekends.
Mm.
And that has been really profitable for them, more or less. And that has cultivated an additional kind of issue. People have no discipline.
Yeah,
So
maybe. I kind of like having like if there's a show that I've watched before or something like that, I can put it on in the background while I do some artwork or whatever, or do some Minecrafting or whatever.
yeah,
Right.
programming, whatever it is. And so in those cases, yeah, I totally get that. But you're half paying attention, right? So I don't know. I don't have any problem with it. But in the same respect, like I watched Discovery as it came along, and I might have been in positions where I was trying to like say, hey, you might like this, and I played an episode for people, so I've seen some episodes in duplicate. Um, but I don't think I think there's maybe one time somewhere in the course of Discovery existing that I maybe watched like the first season again, just to sort of recap myself before I saw the next
Yeah.
season or whatever it was. But I often don't do that, and getting my captive attention is always a problem because I have a tendency to want to multitask while I'm doing it. I kind of consume things as I'm like programming, or I can't do it. My attention has to be captive when I'm doing things like editing. But I have a tendency to want to do other things while I am watching TV. So my attention is not always 100% captive for the material.
Do you think that Picard is going to deliver on on the on the promise they're making with their showing all the old actors and stuff coming back? Do you think that they're going to do a service to whatever the movies and the series TNG did? Are you gonna Do you think that they're gonna be able to catch enough people that still are alive that watch the old show, or is it gonna pivot to something that other people might like at some point?
I don't have any expectations of it like that. I expected to do something different. If you follow the movies, the universe has been rebooted, and I don't know if we're running that parallel. Were we running that
Uh,
parallel in
it,
Discovery, or are we
no,
running that parallel in Picard? Because I would figure only Discovery and Picard's parallels, those universes are aligned, but everything else is not.
so the new movies are the result of what happened to the son of the Romulans. So Spock is gone in this universe where
But
Picard
they
is
did
happening.
mention him
What?
in Picard. They did mention him.
Yes, they did, but Spock got sucked into a black hole, into the portal, into the past. So the Kelvin universe, that's the one where Kirk's dad
Mm-hmm.
saves the
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Uh, that's where Nero went, and that's the whole different story. But their ship, that big Romulan ship, was actually enhanced by Borg stuff.
Right.
So all the stuff that's happening now, it's really related.
Oh, okay. So we're now living in a parallel
The the the,
universe.
the Prime universe, basically.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because it's on Prime.
Okay.
Sorry.
Lame.
But yeah, but I think that the they could pull it off if they just. I don't know how they're gonna handle anything like the guy that plays Picard, um, like ending, right? He's gonna die at some point. How are they gonna continue this series?
Well, I mean, the human Patrick Stewart is going to eventually die. He's not young.
Oh
None
yeah.
of the TNG actors are young anymore. The only person you can make look young is because of makeup is Brent Spinner with Data. So
Yeah, but even that's gonna be tough.
sure, but again, these you hope these things don't go on for 30 years, and no TV show does. Very few hit their 10 years. Um, So, with that said, I don't think that's the course of direction for this. This isn't going to be a 10-year, milk the profit model. That won't work forever. They're going to have to do new things. So I'm okay with what they're doing today. I have no really a lot of any particular expectations about existing universes because I don't even really collectively I haven't, put pins up on the wall and started to build a map and build all the connections and looked at it as a whole. I'm just sort of absorbing the entertainment as it is. The same thing with Discovery. Discovery doesn't really follow any real thing that I'm familiar with. And I'm familiar enough, right? And up into the moment where you were just detailing some stuff about sort of the correlating differences between the past and the present and the past universes and the different splits between the movies and where everything is today in the storylines, it's sort of like a big old jumble of mess
Mm.
compared to the way it used to be very cohesive in the world of Deep Space Nine and Voyager and TNG, which is completely different than really the classic stuff. The
Mm.
correlation there is a little was well, they were the future and that was the past, and so it was easy to kind of split definitives there. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the change
Do you
is just happening. So I don't know. I'm not being too gossipable to any of it.
Do you think that the stuff between like Voyager, that was the AI, rogue AI from the section something or other, uh, that rogue AI got loose, and now we have um, synthetics being like the another AI stuff happening? Is it gonna just end up like? Are we gonna somehow run into Discovery at some point? Is that what's gonna happen?
Until you just said that, I had not been thinking about Discovery at all. And so now you just made a correlation, and you might be very well correct, and maybe that is explaining all the sins. I was not
Crap.
thinking deeply about it. Are you ruining anything for me? No. But what happens if your theory is wrong?
I don't care about if my theory is wrong. It's just, I just thought about it. Hey, wait, what if these things are
Yeah.
connected?
Maybe you might be right. You might have just made a connection because again, I wasn't thinking very deep about it yet.
But the,
And
the,
then
the,
what do we
the
get?
synthetics get taken over by something. We
Right.
don't know if that's the
So
Romulans or not.
so I mean, the Discovery is telling stories of the past, and Picard is telling different kind of or similar, maybe related stories, parallels here in the future. And so maybe the upcoming season of Discovery is going to start building these connections for us.
Well, Discovery gets zapped into the future, right? Like, was it 600 or 900 years? So,
Something, but I mean
yeah.
that's not Picard time, is it?
No, I think that's like 300 years in the future of Picard.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. So I don't know. That's the problem. Is whenever I last saw Discovery, for me it's been more than a year. It feels like 2 years at this point, and where I watched it sort of organically. So I did not watch it in such a manner where I binged it. And so now you're making me think I should go back and watch at least half of the last season that's available to me for Discovery.
you don't want to do that. It's so bad.
You don't like Discovery at all?
I do like Discovery. The problem is that I don't like the the leaps they make, right?
With all that stuff. Yeah, you're right. Now I'm starting to recall all that. And the rogue AI, which is what you mentioned.
And
These
then
are,
the points of lights that they can see across across the galaxy
yeah.
instantly. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then again, the whole universe, the whole galaxy's distances don't really make any sense in the whole thing, right? So they can get there instantly, or they cannot, right? The whole beacon with the Klingons having, like, when the light goes on, suddenly from across the galaxy, Klingons start showing up.
Yeah,
What?
I think you are thinking too deeply about it.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
likely to ruin it for yourself if
It's
you
more
think.
sci fantasy than it is science fiction.
Sure, right? Yeah. No, I think most science fiction isn't bounded in any real science.
This is
Um,
why I like The Expanse.
but also, in the same respect, a lot of the things that happened in things like Star Trek had inspired people to find inventions in the world. Maybe not exact, but a lot of things that inspired what we have for cell phones, right? Tablets, doors automatically opening for you. These are the various little things that were just elements, components in the story as part of the world universe. And someone grew up with that idea, and then they said, "Hey, I think I can make something like that," and that turns into the thing you can't stop yourself from looking at every 5 seconds.
So Alan, where's my replicator? Where's my
Yeah.
replicator, Alan? Tell
Oh
me,
well,
where is it?
quantum entanglement. And even then, that's not realistic. So yeah, I mean,
Something compensators. So yeah, the show is on Prime for me. It's on CBS All Access for you.
yeah. Well, it's actually on. So it's available through Prime for me because I'm subscribing to CBS All Access that way.
Oh, okay. That's
So
weird.
so yeah, I mean, at least here in the U.S., Amazon Prime has channels that you can add, right? So
No, okay.
you can add HBO and Showtime and all those things. So what you do is you just sort of pay Amazon. You're paying already Amazon, and then you get that sort of weaved into all your existing Amazon Prime stuff. So I don't know, there was a point in time where CBS made this promise for Star Trek, and then they chilled on it for like a year, and I think it was because originally what they were doing there was not so good, and then they sort of rebooted it internally.
Hmm.
So they had some struggle there getting it started, and I was like, well, there's really nothing. They have a lot of good stuff, but there was like nothing there I wanted to spend $100 a year waiting for, and I never knew when that was going to happen. So I
Yeah.
canceled it, and that was such a nightmare to cancel CBS All Access because they really don't want you to cancel. And they made it difficult, and I had to send emails, and it took a while, and it finally got canceled. And then the next year, I paid for it again, and it was easier to cancel. And then my point was, I was like, you know what? They're irritating me. They're doing some tactical stuff here, and I don't like it. So I was like, I'm gonna make my life simpler, and when I want it again, I'll turn it on and off as I see fit in through Amazon. And so that's what I've done. Plus,
Yeah.
who wants to install another app and another app to do another thing the CBS
Yeah.
way? I was like, nope, I'm not into that. And their apps were just terrible. They were bad. So easier on Prime
Yeah.
was the short cycle of that.
If you're outside of the US, you can go to Polymatic.media/sh for Picard on Prime. If you're in the US and are unlucky, you can go to CBS Polymatic/SI.
Yep. And as I mentioned, if you have Amazon Prime and you want to add the CBS All Access channel, you can do that. And then you can just find it, all intermixed in with all your Amazon Prime stuff. So,
Gotta say, for the different streaming services, I think that for now, Prime has the most stuff I like to watch. It's got The Boys. It's got the Grand Tour stuff. That's pretty funny at times. And it got Monk. It's got The Expanse. It's got Picard. The only problem is gonna have to sign up for Netflix again when Discovery comes back. It's
For
kind of
you,
annoying.
for me, it's still available in Prime.
Yeah, I understand. Let's just hope it moves over to Prime.
Well, so that
uh,
was the thing is the only way for me to get Discovery was to get it directly through CBS All Access because that feature
mhm.
in Prime was not available yet, and I'm still paying for it, right? And in your case, you were just getting it free with Netflix, where at that time I was still had to pay for it directly. So,
Yep.
and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good stuff inside the CBS All Access catalog. It's just that I don't have time for everything. And there are good, CBS shows. I just don't have time for all of them. And who wants to pay for 10 different streaming services to get everyone's sort of wall garden services?
Yeah, there's like so many now. It's
Yeah,
insane.
I don't like that tactic at all. It's not good for the general everybody. It's only good for the people who have the licenses and want to make money. So
I think we've talked about Picard enough and griped on streaming services. Or do you want to go back to the actual show? Because we haven't actually talked that much about the show.
okay, so really, I don't know what version of whatever universe we're booting in, but it's basically Jean-Luc Picard at sort of the end of his relationship with Star Trek. That's pretty evident right up within the first 10 minutes. The first 3 minutes, you're a little confused. You might be a little confused,
Oh, he's
and then
very confused as well. So
you might like have a little tear. You might cry depending on who someone around you might cry. Like I've heard people like they had to pause because they got emotional. They knew what was coming next. And so I mean that's sort of, first 3 minutes, whatever, okay. Isolated, then brings you up to current day, and then here's the universe of where Jean-Luc Picard is at. His history is, there was a I want to say winery. Is that right? Is that the correct
yeah,
word?
that's what he has.
In his
A
family.
vineyard.
So yeah, vineyard. That. Thank you. I knew it wasn't right. And so that's where he's at. And then we learn why he retired because sort of it's in his DNA. Why would he ever retire? Right? We imagine him a guy sort of walking around with a cane, still being admiral, as a lot of them end up being somewhere in the history of Star Trek. So
For some reason, yes.
for some reason, he is not there. He is in the
Well, he still
vineyard.
has the title, right?
He still has a title, and so you find out he left. And we're not. I mean, yes, we're spoiling details, but they're only surface because the deeper stuff
We
that
don't have
goes
to go
on.
through the whole story, but
Yeah, yeah.
like,
So I mean, that's it. That's kind of the universe of where you're starting, and then some shit goes down, and then you find out that's the mystery. That's where you're leaning on of what the hell is going on. Why is it going on? How's that relate to Jean-Luc Picard? You find out very quickly, and then you find out how it relates to other elements of Jean-Luc Picard's version of Star Trek universe.
mhm.
And then you start to meet the new characters that you're going to spend time with. And that's it. That is fundamentally what 3 episodes is giving you, but they're also giving you sort of the deep, dark, new mystery bits. They're leaning you in. You
Mm.
get a little of it. You don't get much of it in the first episode. In the second episode, you get a lot more of it, a lot faster, even though it comes at a slow burn. And then you are now on your adventure, starting to begin your adventure in episode 3. These are all things that aren't like,
Well, I think that episode
spoiling
3 is
anything.
still setting up stuff, right? So
It
it's
is.
more of a like the end of episode 3. You know you're going out, right? They've all been planning it for the 3 episodes, and now it's the time
Right.
to go.
But now what they're really doing is they're solidifying of the people, of the characters that you are learning about, who knows what they actually know, and the sort of admitting what they know in the universe of what is going on. And so
Mm.
that's it. That's what episode 3 is about. My only mystery that I didn't solve until I looked up on IMDb is I was looking at Agnes, the foremost expert on
Oh
synthetics,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, why do I recognize her? And I realize that's Allison Pill. And then I go, oh, okay, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
I know her from a lot of things now. Got it. That was what was wrinkling my brain the whole time, and I didn't take a moment to go, okay, hold on, Star Trek, okay, okay, Allison Pill, got it. Discovery, by comparison, is intense and super dark, right? And this is starting to get darker, but it's really more. It's getting deeper. It's more about having a deeper insight of the story is more rooted right now in 3 episodes about telling you about a deeper story that no one knows about. Where in Discovery, it's you reconnecting with a rebooted sense of the universe and discovering that version of Star Trek and the early and future and past and very complicated, dark, deep, greedy version of Star Trek, which we never seen. That's what Discovery is doing. Picard is doing something different. Though
Well,
now it sounds like
I
they're
like the
probably
fact
connected.
that they're showing the aftermath, like the Borg stuff,
Right.
like people being reclaimed, people recovering.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that I like that setup that they're doing.
They
like
are
that
certainly
they're showing
doing
more.
something new, and they're not just sort of running along the same sort of logical path of storylines they've done before.
Well, they never show in they never showed in Star Trek the somebody gets assimilated and like now they're better, right? But in this you see like people having like prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah, I guess we saw a little of the struggle with Jean-Luc Picard from the movies.
Yeah, like one episode.
Yeah. We didn't see much of that with 7 of 9. She sort of just became a little less
Magic.
Borgy. But
With a piece of technology on her face.
right, yeah. But she should have just adopted. She is assimilated.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
with the I think we've talked enough about Picard now. My brain is starting to hurt.
Good enough. All right. So you wanted to talk about Minecraft 1.16.
Yes.
Yeah, and
well, there's a new snapshot out. I haven't played it myself. I haven't tried it myself.
Yeah.
Polymatic.media/SB. Mr. Captain Sparkles is doing a review of that. The new features.
Yeah.
There's some new. There is some new armor that you can make with gold, with diamond armor, and then putting a special ingot on it. It makes it better. So you can now get better than diamond, which is great.
Okay.
But you need to go into the Nether for it.
And
we're gonna reset the server that we play on as soon as like 1.16.
Or you're gonna upgrade it is what you're gonna do.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna throw away the Nether. So anything in the Nether is gonna go away.
Yeah. So you and James had built up, or who else? Kevin. Kevin had built a bunch of stuff in the Nether.
There's not much in the Nether.
Oh, okay. Because I know there were like sort of teleport tunnels to things.
Yeah, there's some Nether portals, but it's like the whole Nether travel stuff it's fine. It's not really fast, so there's a teleport now, so I don't really need the Nether stuff anymore.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I might as well just reset it so we have some new stuff to play with as soon as the 1.16 comes out. But we're going to have to wait a bit because the spigot that we run on doesn't get 1.16 straight away, so we have to wait a bit for that, and there's some plugins that we need to test first before we switch over. So I need to be sure that 1.16 won't break the server.
All right. So if anyone's interested, polymatic.link/SB.
Yes. And then you have some other links for us.
Yeah, I threw in. So usually I throw a few in and then you match them, and you didn't do it this time, which I was surprised. So the YouTube algorithm kind of pushed this on me, and I was randomly like not ready to go to sleep, and so I found this. I saw some sort of vids of people playing Polybridge, which I guess irritates you, John. And this one isn't the most funny of ones, but this guy Blitz was showing me old videos of his, And I don't know, I found the guy amusing, and then you just watch him build something that's absurd, and you're like, that physically is not going to work. And then he just persists on for 10 minutes, and then he makes it work. And then again, because I was taking an interest in Polybridge, I watch other people who do it with more of an engineering mind, and, they do some crazy things. So anyhow, I just wanted to, mention that to you, John. Polymatic.link/SC. If you're interested or curious in Blitz, but in general, I really only been focusing on his Polybridge videos as the YouTube algorithm feeds it to me. He does some absurd things. There are older videos of his with Polybridge that are a lot funnier as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so moving along, since all these links are just me. So I follow the YouTube channel Fully Charged because I'm interested in, electric vehicles. And so they started a series with, I guess, somebody who's might be known in the BBC, in the UK. But the series they're calling is Maddie Goes Electric. So she's going through the process of looking at her budget and looking at what it would cost to get electric in the UK and what her options are and what's feasible. And she's just sort of going through a multi-episode mini series of this. And I thought that was kind of interesting. Anyone who's interested in kind of knowing more about what your options are, definitely in Europe with battery electric vehicles.
No longer in Europe.
Huh? Well, okay. Well, in this case, it's very exclusive to the UK. And then, Fully Charged in general, if you're just interested in all things sort of electric, with even if it's just solar or electric cars or whatever it is, it's a good channel. Polymatic.link/SD for Maddie Goes Electric. And then we have, this was something that came up, dark kitchens. So there's lots of, at least here in the US, there's lots of things where you can order different kinds of varieties of different styles of food, or your restaurants that you might like that aren't near your house, close to your house, are offering food delivery. And in the case of something like London, this is, I think, is focused on London. London's big enough where some of your favorite restaurants, what they're doing is they have a second kitchen. So when you get your food delivery, if it's nowhere near your favorite restaurant that's on the west side and you're on the east side, there might be it might be coming out of a dark kitchen. So this is just a little kind of documentary, piece about it. Thought it was interesting. OG Polymatic.link/SE. Different show. Where my brain went. Okay, and then last, something that irritated John, but I followed the guy who has his Stranger Part channel, and I don't know when I bookmarked this, but he had a chance to go take a look at companies who make the PCBs in China. OGlink.com/SF.
That's Polymatic.link/SF.
What did I say? OG Link again?
OG Link, yes.
Yeah. Polymatic.link/SF. My brain is, yeah. Anyhow.
He's cooked.
So, I don't know. So the PCBs are basically what a lot of people do so they can start putting their boards together. I got a sense of more insight about how that sort of works when the guy who the YouTube channel BPS Space, that guy. So he's been kind of making, how like SpaceX, he is creating his own, or trying to figure out to create his own versions of rockets that like will sort of land themselves, but using chemical engines instead of liquid engines. But anyhow, so he went through a video which I found was interesting, where he was making his own boards that he's selling these kits for, so other people can do the same thing. They can buy these kits and try this themselves. And so he has flight computers and stuff that he's building, and he was going through the different, what does it take to make a PCB, and he was reviewing and he did this long video about like the ones that are in China and the ones that might be in the U.S. and what they cost and how many you have to buy and whatever it is. And I took a little interest of, I wonder how that works. And then when Stranger Parts got to this was interesting to me. So that was it. That's why I bookmarked it a long time ago, and I realized I never shared it.
So, Alan, where can they not find you?
Oh, you cannot find me on Twitter because I barely say anything over there. Twitter.com/my last name, CHAESS.
You can find me on Twitter as well. On twitter.com/webdevy, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you can reach us at podcast@Polymatic.media. The music is by Seuns, which you can find at Polymatic.link/EK, or Twitter is the Polymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time.
You're listening to. Hold on. There you go. There's your bloopers.
That's what you say now, but I'll probably have to cut some more.
Yeah.